Welcome to Talk Birdie-Tome. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allan, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy is the #1 shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download the Better app from the app stores today. Now that's better. And keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, they'll help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers turns your bogeys into birdies. Download the app from Google Play or the App Store. Now, from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, Talk Birdie-Tome with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allan.
G'day everybody, welcome to the program. Do not forget, before we get started, Nick, at the Links Golf and Wellbeing at Hope Island Golf Day that we're going to have on the 8th of
October.
Thank
8th
you.
of October.
Make sure you book in and get those tickets because they are selling fast.
Nearly 50% sold out.
There we go.
Great.
I told you they're selling fast. Anyway, they'll all be gone soon, so make sure if you're up in that area or if you're planning a holiday, come and visit us at Links Golf and Wellbeing at Hope Island, Dan.
Exactly right.
Stop stuffing me around. I'll get it.
No rain that day either.
No rain.
No.
Hey, cousin Steve Allan.
He's done it again.
Steve Allan, this is turning into our version of Steve Elker.
Yeah.
Where he was, he wasn't gifted a spot on the Champions Tour in the United States, and he's performing well week after week after week. And again, he is beating the field of past superstars. So Stevie filling his pockets up finally. It's been a while, but it is just wonderful.
3 wins. I didn't hear which sibling he had on the bag. Sorry, not sibling, son on the bag this week.
They're all taller than him, I've noticed.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
he joins an elite group of players on the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
Aussies that have won 3 or more times in a season. Let me read this list.
Right,
I did a bit of research on this. Peter Thomson, Bruce Crampton, David Graham, and Graham Marsh.
Unreal.
And he becomes the 5th player.
Yeah,
How good's that?
That is just sensational.
Just incredible.
Have I ever told you my Peter Thomson story?
Go on.
It's my favourite story in golf. It's my favourite story in golf. So he was 52 years old, and Arnold Palmer was worried about the strength of the they used to call it the Seniors Tour back then. So he calls Peter Thomson. He says, Tomo, I'm going to give you a couple of invites. Come over and play. So he came over, brought a set over to play with. Wooden clubs, mind the way, behind you. Yeah, he's the only bloke in the field.
This must have been in the 80s.
Yeah, using wooden clubs. So, all the TaylorMade, all the new ones were kind of just starting to evolve. Anyway, he's in the clubhouse afterwards, and he overheard 2 American pros going, what's Peter Thomson getting an invite for? He was never any good. He could only ever win in Britain, right?
He was pretty handy over there.
So you know what he did? He went home and started practicing over summer.
Okay.
He returned at the age of 53 with a handful of invitations, and guess what he did?
He won a lot.
He won a record 9 times. That record still stands today.
Incredible.
It's one of my favourite stories in the world of golf that he just sharpened himself up and said, well, we'll see, and won 9 times. It's incredible.
Love it. How good.
Mark, can I ask you a question about your cousin Stevie Allan?
Yes.
Obviously, you guys have a long history. As cousins, you would have grown up together and hung out at the beach and so on and so forth. How is it that your cousin Stevie Allan and you have a different spelling of your surname?
Yeah,
How does that work?
Sometimes I take credit for Steve and other times I don't. When he wins, he's cousin. When he's playing bad, he's just Stevie.
He's just Stevie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Exactly.
Now, we go from that wonderful story. We might hear a little bit more about Stevie a little bit later in the Ping Globals. But even though Justin Rose won the St. Jude,
it was tough.
It
was tough to watch, wasn't it?
Dan, I think the pit of our stomachs. I was cheering for Tommy Fleetwood. I was sure this was going to be it, Nick.
I know. Yeah, Tommy, he is turning into that Colin Montgomery of the current generation where hasn't won in the US, which is a real struggle. Now, I actually alerted to you guys. I said, look, I just saw a post and a comment that he made, and I'll read this out. before Sunday's round.
This is before Sunday's round?
Before Sunday's round.
I thought it was after.
No, it was before. And there was a comment he made. He said, look, because they were saying you've had 11 top threes. Do you think this is the chance? And are you going to get over the line? And he said, I would way rather be there and fail than not be there at all. Now, that's a great comment to make because you're putting yourself in the cauldron. If you don't have a chance, you don't have a chance to fail. However, at the same time, he's almost saying, if I fail, he's already talking about failing, as opposed to you'd rather a comment like, well, I just got to keep giving myself chances. I think if I play good golf tomorrow, I'll get it done. Yeah. Don't mention the word fail because if you ever say that, those sorts of things tend to come to fruition.
I would have thought the only time you use the word fail when you're talking into a microphone at a tournament is when you have failed.
When you've, after the round.
After the round. Yeah. And that's when you say, listen, I'd rather fail and be there than not be there at all. Then that comment makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Well, he's had 2 tournaments in the palm of his hands in recent times. The Travellers Championship, as we saw when Keegan Bradley holed a bomb on the last, but he's in the middle of the fairway at the Travellers with a wedge in his hand, goes, 9-iron, and then he hits a wedge, takes the wrong club, indecision, killed him there, loses that. We know what happened there. This time he's in the middle of the 16th fairway, par 5. He's got, I think, a 1-shot lead at the time.
And he had clawed his way back.
Or he might have been level at the time. But if
he
makes
2 birdies early in the back 9,
He's got some sort of a long iron in his hand. He's one of the best long iron players in the world. Sets up for a perfect high draw to a back left pin, blocks it right, struggles to make par, just drips that par putt in the hole.
Got up and down to make par.
Yeah.
After he had an up and down for birdie, he got an up and down to make par.
But you think if he birdies that hole, you got to go, right, okay, tournament's kind of done. I mean, he would have had to have parred the last 2 holes. But for a guy that had flushed it for, basically all tournament, I know Sunday he was struggling, but then he hit a poor iron shot into 17. He's not a fader of the ball and he had to hit a fade. That's where it comes into the game where you need to shape the ball both ways if you are an elite pro. There are some that can get away with it, like a Patrick Reed or a Morikawa. Patrick just hits a draw, Morikawa hits a fade. But in those instances, it would have been handy to be able to hit a fade into 17. He didn't get it up and down. And then what happened on 18, obviously Rose just grabbed it by the bull, the horns, the bull by the horns, as they say. He made, 4 birdies in a row and then steps up on 18 and hits that driver, by the way.
Be prepared. My masterclass today is about that driver because he hit 3-wood every day. But with the wind, he calculated that if he stepped on one, he should be able to carry the water. Yep. And if he stepped on one and it drifted right, then the wind would have killed it enough to stay out of the traps. Yep. But still, the big one in that situation is not make 4 birdies in a row and then hit it in the drink. That's the last thing you need to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the masterclass is about hitting it hard and getting rid of the thing that goes left. It's a curse for so many golfers.
It's an interesting tee shot, and I know that tee shot really well because one year I had a chance. I was 1 shot behind, I think, Dustin Johnson playing the last hole.
And there's a rotten hole for lefties.
And for a lefty, it's a horrible hole. And I had one of those days where my bad shot was I had a bit of the double way miss going, the pull right and the block left. Yeah. And unfortunately on that hole, I hit the big high block left in the drink.
So you had that shot shapes going and you were still in it up to your eyeballs.
I was still in it because I was playing pretty well.
So that's a great thing for kids out there to listen to, that you weren't hitting it perfect.
No.
And you were holding your own in a big time event.
Yeah, and I knew I needed to birdie the last. So I thought, well, I just got to take this on. It's one of those just bad swings I had all day. It was probably a mental thing. Well, I don't want to pull it right, as I got to the top of my backswing, whatever. It was not a great swing. Made an unbelievable up and down for bogey as it turned out because I had to drop before the water.
Yeah.
And that's an even harder shot. Hit it across and then get it up and down. It was a nightmare. I finished third, so it was okay. But a bit like Tommy, he finished third. So.
Well, this is where I want to give you some credit because I'm not sure whether you noticed, but when I turned the TV on and he was behind, I went straight to the scorecard to have a look what had happened. Guess what had happened? Bogeyed the first.
Yes.
Now, this is where I give you a hell of a lot of credit because when you talk about beating Tiger twice, the main thing that you say is that you got to get it in front.
Yes.
You've got to get in front, which means not bogeying the first. Now, I don't know how you do it in these situations. Like I've had leads after 3 rounds. I know that you've had the leads after 3 rounds.
Not many.
You've just got to get through the first 25 minutes, don't you? The first 25 minutes of nerves before you get into that round. And to make a bogey on the first it's so difficult to come back from that. So I don't know what the story is, but to me, I'm ultra concerned. I mean, he rips the ball. I don't care.
He is a flusher.
He's a complete flusher, Tommy Fleetwood. So somehow he's just got to hit that fairway, and somehow he's just got to hit it in the middle of the green, nowhere else.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to do when you're in that situation, just to be ultra conservative until the anxiety and the nerves disappear. Now, mate, look, folks, I'm looking at you. Where are you? That's much easier to say than to do.
Very
obviously.
Much so. Yeah. The thing I noticed about Tommy was, again, his body language changed a little bit. He was taking a bit extra time. He seemed to be between clubs on a couple of them, and you go, well, okay. So I think it's become a bit of a mental thing, and totally understandable. The similar sort of thing used to happen to me as well. It became a mental challenge to try and get over the line, and it's really hard to do.
See, in that situation,
he's saying all the right things. I really like what he said after the final round, when he was doing his interviews. It was fantastic. I mean, he's all class, as you know. And I'm hoping it's only a matter of time, but each time this happens, it's just going to get harder and harder.
Yeah. Okay. So when I'd been in those situations where I had leads, I had a terrific caddy, Drew Dublin. And if I was in between clubs, right, he would say, "You don't need to force anything here." That's what he would say. Don't force this. Don't take the 7-iron and try and hit it 3/4, or don't take the 8-iron and try and step on one while you're still a little bit anxious. You don't have to force it early. You might bomb a 30-footer. Who knows what happens? You don't have to hit it pin high, but just take the club. If you're anxious or nervous and you haven't got yourself into the groove of, last round golf, then you don't have to do all the hard stuff early. Maybe later, to when the birdie hole's on, and when you're feeling okay, but you don't have to do it early. So, to me, if you're in between clubs early and you're anxious, don't worry. Just hit it 15 foot short. It just doesn't matter.
But hats off to Justin Rose. It was a good playoff too. I thought J.J.Spaun, love that golf swing, by the way. Yeah. Just a metronome almost with the way he turns back and through with his irons.
I've fallen in love with his golf swing, particularly with the irons. Yeah. I've completely fallen in love with the way he plays.
And then when Rose got the hot putter, I thought he was going to end it in regulation, to be honest. Right. And then he had a good chance the first playoff hole, and then by the way, they recut the pin on the third playoff hole, which was great. And how good were the shots they hit in there? It's just unbelievable, the quality of golf.
I reckon they should change it straight away.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, let's change. Let's not mess around. Let's put it in the spot where we're going to get a winner straight away.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about the putts too? Because they kept on showing the putts, and they were hitting
the greens last year.
They were hitting really good putts, and the ball was doing different things. You could hear the commentators, international feed commentators. You could hear the commentators talking about, hang on a second, that one turned left for this player, but that player didn't turn left. It went to the right. So it just goes to show you.
New greens, by the way.
Yeah, new greens. But it just goes to show you in a lot of situations, and particularly this level, how many players played on the weekend? Only 70 players played. So if you're in a full field at your club and there's 140 players playing and you've hit off at 12:30, all you can do is start the ball on line with good speed.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. The ball going into the hole doesn't mean that you've done everything right. Quite often the ball can go to the hole. It's been a bad putt, Nick. You know that as well as anybody. Sometimes you're just that hot, that bad putts go in.
Yeah, it's funny how big the hole becomes when you just start feeling it. And I tell you how small the hole becomes when you're not. I mean, that par putt of Tommy on 16 we were talking about earlier, that wasn't a great putt.
Then he hit almost a 6.
Very ordinary putt on 17, and it was kind of over for him, unfortunately. But the playoffs have been fascinating. We've started at 70, now we go down to 50.
Yeah,
so we had the top 50 bubble going. Unfortunately for the Aussies, we've only got one player left in Jason Day.
We lost.
Ryan Fox is still in there for the New Zealanders, which is great. We lost Cam Davis and Minwoo Lee.
And Scotty, or does Scotty?
Scotty didn't even make the playoffs. No, okay. Minwoo started at 50, but he had a horrible week. He finished towards the back end of the field, and he's out now as well. So, but funnily enough, the talking point going into the week was they call them playoffs, but Rory McIlroy didn't even play.
Yeah.
Now
it's a different system this year, so he's got enough points where he doesn't really have to worry.
Yeah.
And whoever wins.
Do you agree with that though? Because I've got a theory that look, the FedEx Cup. they've been trying to figure this system out. We all know the 4 majors are the biggest tournaments in the game, but they've tried to create this playoff system where this is it. This is the big
final.
deal.
This is the grand final.
It's the postseason. Now, every other sport, the postseason is their pinnacle. You got the Super Bowl, you got the grand final, you got the NBA championships, you name it. Whatever.
And it's easy to make sense of those, isn't it?
Yes.
It's very easy to make sense of those.
But the thing about those is it's a playoff. So I think the playoffs should be elimination. Now, they are elimination, yes, but I think everyone's got to show up for number one. So Rory not showing up for the first playoff event, sorry, you're out. You got to tee it up. Now, I've been trying to go, well, how do you fix this system? Because there's been so many different comments made about how they should do it. And I came up with something the other day, and hear me out here. Tell me what you think.
No, I reckon you've spoken about this before. I hope it's the same.
It's been tweaked a little more.
Go on.
So here's how it works.
Righto.
Now, we've spoken about it earlier, a different sort of system, but this one's a little different. Top 50 rather than top 70. Of those top 50, the top 6 players, they get a first round bye. Okay,
they don't have to turn up.
They don't even show up. By the way, they're going to get well compensated. No problem at all. 24 players from that 50 go into the next round, add the other 6, so we've got 30 for the next. So now we're at Tour Championship stage, but we're 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
Okay, now if there's a tie on those top 24, they go into a sudden death playoff.
Yeah, I don't mind
right?
this, yeah.
So all of a sudden, you've got these sudden death playoffs going on.
Yeah.
Now from the top 30, now we go into top 8. So 22
have a match play
players
event after.
get eliminated.
Yep.
Now, Scottie Scheffler, he's in that top 30, right? And he might have an off week, and all of a sudden he's in a playoff to get in the top 8. I think that would be fascinating. And then you have the top 8. Whether you make that a match play or a shootout, I don't know. But make it a bit more cutthroat and make it a bit more exciting. This format they've got is a little different.
So you still have the top 30 tournament as the Tour Championship,
Well,
and then
the
you'd have the
second last
FedEx
event.
Cup champion as match play.
Yeah. So it's 3 events still, but it's 50, 30, 8.
Because the whole reason they went to
Doesn't
the
have to be
system
match play, the
is
last
because there were 2 trophies. And if you weren't a golfer, they're going, hang on, who's won the tournament?
Yeah.
That people didn't understand it if you weren't watching close enough or if you weren't a golf fan. But I'm a big supporter of this.
And at the end of the regular season, whoever finishes top of the points, they get their bonus or whatever, like Scottie would.
Yeah.
And because he'll be going, well, hang on, I've played the way this Tour Championship is working is top 30 players. There is no, by the way, they're not starting from a tiered start anymore. They're all starting from the same score, and whoever wins the tournament becomes the FedEx Cup champion.
Yeah, okay.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind it. And one of the great things about this is that, if there were 64 players, Nick O'Hearn type star doesn't get to beat Scottie Scheffler and destroy the whole tournament.
Yeah, there you go.
So we just get the strongest 8 from the Tour Championship.
Yep. Away they go.
Playoffs involved, and then we just get it done.
TV sponsors will go, no, what happens if we get 8 guys that, aren't our marquee players? Well, yeah, obviously that's probably why it's never going to work. So I don't know how they're going to figure out this system. They've got better minds than me thinking about it, but it was just something I thought about the other day. And anyway, someone who is making a bit of a charge and who's a bit of controversy around was Rickie Fowler, because he's now inside the top 50.
Yeah, and he got all those starts into the elevated events.
And he got a lot of starts, yeah.
Have we got Lou Stegner's tweet ready to go? Because he's the one who made the point. He brought it to my attention. I knew Rickie was getting head starts. If you don't know what we're talking about, they're called wild cards in tennis. They're called sponsors' invitations in golf. And Rickie was getting sponsor invitations into the
signature events.
Signature events. That's right. So there's no cut, and he gets free points into these things.
Yeah.
So it is a leg up. Surely you can only get 1. So that's how I would fix it.
4 or 5 invites.
Well, that's right.
I think.
So if he got 3 or 4 or 5, we're not sure how many, but it was more than 1. To me, you can only get 1. That's it. You're a star player, and we'd like you in there, but we're not giving you 5, Rickie.
Yeah.
We give maybe 2.
Next year
compromise.
Now he won't have to worry about invites because he's in the top 50. He went from 64th to 48th because he had a good finish in Memphis. Now the player who probably is going to take his place, guess who didn't make the top 50 is Jordan Spieth. So next year, let's see how many invites Jordan gets.
Well, that's right. So they can't.
So some of the players probably aren't happy about it. The only way I can figure around it, and what I heard the other day, someone said was, yes, they can get an invite, but you don't get the points. You can have the money, but you don't get FedEx Cup points for those signature events that you've entered, then all of a sudden they're not climbing the points.
I agree.
Anyway.
I agree with the sentiment. but they just don't care about money.
Yeah, I know.
They want the points. They want to get into all those big events, because the big events that they are in, then their manager can go to market and say, well, listen, here's Rickie. He's in all the, if his contract finished at Christmas, all these contracts.
So it is all about money.
It's all about big money, not about prize money. I think we touched on this last week. I mean, the real model, when you're at the pointy end of professional golf or professional individual sport, the model is prize money is secondary, and that just goes to the management, your travel, staying in beautiful hotels. But where you make your wealth in professional sport is when Titleist comes knocking at your door, or Ping, or, BMW. Nike, whatever. When those big brands come to your door, that's when you make some serious cash. And, these days, like, what did Tiger, 40 million US? I think Spieth was similar when he went to Under Armour. That's where the money's made when you're at the pointy end. So
indeed,
they don't care about prize money.
No.
They could not care. Now, something I do care about,
yes,
and we're not even involved, is the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the players are getting paid this time too, so there is prize money.
Not, are they? That's
well, I think it's probably to distribute to charities and that. I'm thinking. I don't know.
I hope it's charity. Yeah. Charities are great.
But Keegan Bradley's got a big decision to make coming up. So
have we ever told the Carlos Franco story about how the money goes to charity?
Tell it again.
Go on.
Tell it again.
Tell it again, because it's a beauty.
Good.
Right. So when Carlos Franco played in the President's Cup, and that President's Cup was in Melbourne, every player on the international team had to select a charity.
Yep.
Every single player.
Your money, you get allocated an amount to, I think it was probably $100,000.
So maybe it went to Very Special Kids, or maybe it went to Bowel Cancer Australia, or maybe it went to whatever your charity is. They were suspicious of the Carlos Franco charity. And when they had a closer look, it seemed that all of his brothers and sisters were a part of the Carlos Franco Memorial Charity for looking after their family. There's the Franco Charity. Right. That's what it was for.
Well, there you go.
Which,
it was a charitable
kind of was
contribution.
against the spirit of what they were trying to do.
Oh, that's one way to put it.
Anyway,
as
long as that sort of stuff doesn't happen. But Keegan Bradley had a win not long ago, and ever since he has not been playing as well. So he's got a decision to make.
I had a bit of a look at it because I was looking at both the teams. The Europeans are looking strong, by the way. They
come on,
they are looking good. Like their top six is Rory, Justin, Tommy, Bob McIntyre, Tyrrell Hatton, Sepp Straka. That's the top six.
Go Sepp.
Next six, you've got Lowry, Rasmus Højgaard, Ludwig, Victor, Matt Wallace, and then Matt Fitzpatrick. So
strong.
That's a strong team. Matt Wallace has been playing well of late. Ludwig hasn't. Rasmus, he's there or thereabouts. But again, it's strong.
US, you got the US team, Henry?
Scottie Scheffler, J.J.Spaun, Xander, Russell Henley, Bryce.
number 3.
Xander's number 3. Russell Henley, Bryson, and Harris are your top 6.
Russell Henley's a sneaky good player.
Oh, he's very good. He'd be a great 4-ball player as well. Yeah.
He'll never be a
foursomes player.
Yeah, he'll never be a poster boy.
No.
But he's a bloody good player.
Had a heck of a career on the tour, Next 6, you got Thomas, Morikawa, Griffin.
Morikawa not playing much good.
He had a better finish, I think, last week.
I think a couple over par
showing
rounds
signs, but he hasn't been playing very well. But you can't go past him. He's number 8 on the list.
Yeah.
Griffin was 9, Bradley 10, McNeely 11, Novak 12. Now, those last couple, okay. I mean, I'm not sure how they're going. The guy that I'm a little excited about, I think, is Cameron Young. He's down in, 15th?
I'd put Young in every day of the week in front of some of those
14th,
others.
Yeah,
he goes in front of...
Because he won at Wyndham and then he was 5th in Memphis. Yep. Bethpage, as we know, is a bomber's course, and he smashes the living daylights out of it. And he's one of the best putters at the moment.
And I reckon my memory just says he's good in big tournaments. My memory just, that's without checking.
Now, Keegan Bradley, he's number 10 on the list. And since he won at the Travellers, he's gone tied 41st, tied 30th, miscut, tied 44th. So
you don't get in on that.
Not the greatest form going, and depends if you want to pick the hot players and things like that.
No.
Yeah.
If he'd done a Scottie Scheffler to where the last 12 events, his worst finish is tied 8th.
How good's that, by the way? We saw that stat.
That's
incredible. He hasn't finished outside top 8 last 12 events. Last player to do that, Tom Weiskopf, 52 years ago.
I was sure you were going to say Tiger Woods.
Nope, Tiger didn't.
Tom
even do it.
Weiskopf.
That's apparently what it said. Yeah, I looked that stat
From
up
the 80s.
when they posted it 50-something years ago. Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Tom Weiskopf, what a player he was. He's a freak.
No, Scottie Scheffler, he's gone 60 out of 60 made cuts.
Okay.
His last 60. That's pretty good, isn't it?
It makes you a very good player.
Not a lot of weekends off. So.
How many times has he actually fallen over in the middle of making all those cuts in a row? I would like to know.
And he went to jail during one of them. So.
That's right.
I mean,
that is true. Very good. Anyway, time for a quick break.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. Dan, we've got so much coming up afterwards. Stick around for the Masterclass as a ripper as well. What's your top 5?
No idea. I've got to make it up in the break. I just realised.
I'm sure it's going to be
mine.
a beauty.
It'll be the best ever.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number one ball in golf is Titleist and the number one shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's better. Now, back to Talk Birdie-Tome. Here's Nick and Mark.
All right, we're going to get to Nick's top 5 that he's hastily put together in just a second.
It is a good one too, by the way.
It is a good one, is it? Yep. How's your gogolfer.com.au going?
Because
I'm asking because I'm loving my T-Series 150 irons so much.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about getting some head covers for the irons.
No, don't.
No.
You are not.
I will lose all respect for you if you do that.
Have you actually seen the memes on social media? They're always out there. It says it's like it's a party for guys who like iron covers.
Yeah,
and they're always doing the most lame things you've ever seen in your whole life.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's a lame party. So like a party for men with iron covers.
It's funny you should say that, but there are some listed on there at the moment. Yeah, because I was checking this morning saying all the new listings coming up.
How much?
I didn't even look at the price, but it's going well. The site's filling up nicely. Look, if you've got old clubs you've fallen out of in love with, maybe a putter that doesn't cooperate anymore, or you're looking for something new, who knows?
Well, it's funny you say that because I was talking to Wolfpacker Tim a couple of days ago who's got some putters that, in Tim's words, refuse to put the ball in the hole for him.
For him, but they might for someone else.
They might for
exactly
someone
right.
else.
So he's listed them on Go Golfer. So I know he's quite excited about that. Which is great.
All right, Tim, love it.
Even if you've got like an old sand iron that still has some grooves, and it's still a little bit of value, pop it on there for $80 or
What's
do
the
something like that.
Website again?
Gogolfer.com.au. All right. That's the place to head.
That just cost you $500.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to this week's top 5.
Top five.
The Talk Birdie to Me Top 5, thanks to Southern Golf Club.
Top five.
All right, this week's top 5 in honour of a guest that we have coming onto the show very shortly.
Ooh.
Well, fingers crossed.
Sorry, I'm not
Fingers
sure
crossed.
when. It's hopefully in the next
Stevie Williams
next week.
Yeah,
Monday.
hopefully.
Monday. Oh, perfect. All right.
So Together We Roared is the book, and with Father's Day coming up, not a bad prize for your father, or if you're a lady who watches our program and you've got a husband, not a bad book. Maybe it's a great book for you. Anyway, Father's Day on the way, so we thought we'd make contact with Steve, and it looks like we're going to get him.
And just for our overseas viewers, Father's Day in Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Different for some strange reason around the world.
In the US, it's always US Open Sunday is Father's Day in America. Is it the same in
US?
In Britain?
No, that's Mother's Day. Is it Mother's Day or Father's Day on
it's
US
the first
Open
Sunday in September in Australia anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. I can't remember actually. Anyway.
I don't care. What's your top 5?
Top 5 caddies.
Most famous caddies?
Most famous caddies.
Yeah,
okay, they're on the tour. And apologies to Wilbur. You didn't make this one. Top 6, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
He's in my top 5, but, it
Did
is what
Lumpy
it is.
get a run? I mean, Lumpless?
Lumpless.
Did Lumpless get a... Is he in there?
I'm sorry. No Lumpless. Number 5, a man who many of our listeners may or may not have heard of, but he was one of the biggest characters in the game way back when for Lee Trevino, he used to loop for.
Oh, what's his name?
Big Herman.
Herman, that's right. He was huge.
Yeah, he was huge.
And a character.
Well, I think was he caddying for him in the Skins game when Trevino had made that hole in one at La Quinta?
Yeah. And his golf bag, it looked like a kid's golf bag on Herman.
It would have.
It looked tiny.
No, absolutely. Number 4, a guy who used to caddy for the lefty who's won a lot of majors, Phil Mickelson, and Bones, or Jim Bones Mackay, as we call him.
Good commentator.
He's now
good ground commentator these days.
Yes, although we don't hear much of him, do we? So
Unfortunately we hear nothing of Bones.
Yeah. But apparently Bones used to have a couple of vetoes for Mickelson throughout his career.
Yeah.
And what that means is he can call Phil off a shot, like saying, no, I'm using one of my vetoes. You cannot hit this golf club. Now, there was a situation at a British Open many years ago where Phil was basically standing inside a pot bunker. The ball was outside and he was trying to hit this crazy 5-iron off this line.
That's a veto.
Now, Bones says, veto, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Mickelson's reply was, we're in international waters. Vetoes don't count here. He went on to make a triple bogey 7. So anyway.
Yeah, one of my great stories about Bones too. And I've been told 1,000 times this is correct, and this is it's more of a story about Phil Mickelson than Bones, is that the wives were friendly. You know, Phil's wife and Bones's wife were friendly. And, you know, they at lunch one day and they said, yeah, look, we're thinking about buying this house. I'll drive you up there. And you know, Mrs. Bones showed Mrs. Mickelson the house they were thinking about buying. You know, Christmas came around and as a Christmas bonus, Phil bought Bones that house.
Wow.
And just gave him the keys to the house that they were thinking about buying.
How good is that?
So isn't that a great story? You know, you hear all kinds of things about Phil, but that is a story that, you know.
That's impressive.
Just fabulous.
That is
impressive.
Fabulous
Story.
Yeah. I wonder if I don't think he tried to use the veto on the 13th at Augusta when he hit it through the trees. But
I'm glad he didn't. What a shot.
That was quite a shot. Number 3, Mike Cowan, otherwise known as Fluff, who caddied for Tiger Woods early on, 1997 at the Masters. He also used to caddy for, I'm thinking, was it Pete Jacobson? I think that's who he went from to get to Tiger.
But he also, in the end, ended up caddying for Jim Furyk.
Jim Furyk.
Jim Furyk. And one of the things you'll know if you read the book, Together We Roared, Fluff was a smoker.
Yes.
And when he was playing with Tiger, he would hold the cigarette up and see which way the smoke was blowing.
Now, is that an outside agency? We spoke about that last week about throwing the cap up.
That's right.
Cigarette?
That's right. We'll have to take a few wins off Tiger.
All right. Number 2, lovely lady, one of the great characters on the game, European Tour, caddy for Faldo for many years, Fanny Sunesson.
Yes.
She was incredible. And I think Faldo may have bought Fanny something similar, like a truck or a pickup truck
or something like that.
Maybe something like that. You're talking about Phil buying Bones a house. I think similar sort of story there. I'm not sure.
Was Fanny caddying for
Henrik Stenson?
When he beat Phil Mickelson? What a famous final round that was at the British Open.
Or was that? No,
I think
that
was a shootout.
That might have been Lordy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she definitely caddied for Stenson for a long time. Two sweets together.
Indeed. And my number 1, how can I not put him on here? Stevie Williams.
Yeah, it has to be.
He's won the most majors out of any of the caddies, I believe, 14.
Well, he won 13 with Tiger.
13, and he had Scottie.
Yeah, and that's right. There's 14.
I want to actually.
Did he win any with Raymond Floyd?
I don't think so. He got close at the Masters one year with him.
Raymond won 4 majors. Greg Norman, who he caddied for, won 2, but he wasn't on the bag.
Well, I want to ask him about that because he was on Norman's bag through the 80s, and Norman obviously won one in 86. So
he caddied for Finchy as well for a little bit.
Yeah,
Stevie Williams.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll bring you Steve Williams a little later this week.
Look, Steve Williams is a good number 1, but I'm disappointed that Danny Noonan didn't get a run. I was clearly expecting to be somewhere in the top 5.
And he does allow his player to kick balls out of the rough. So, yeah, fair call. Fair call.
Yeah, he could be maybe number 6 or 7 or something like that.
Ow. Oh, my arm. It's broken.
Good Lord, what has this buffoon done now?
Here, let's have a look at that. Well, that might be a fracture at all now. I'm afraid you forfeit.
Yeah, who says so? The match is a draw.
No, you don't, Chernick. You don't play, you lose, right, Lou?
That's right, Your Honor, unless you want to allow him a substitute.
Huh?
Oh, well, Spaulding can play out his holes.
Yeah.
Actually, Judge, I think it's up to us to pick our substitute.
Huh? What do you want?
Sonia Henney's out. We'll take Danny Noonan.
Oh, Danny's an employee of the club. He can't work and play, particularly something as illegal as this.
Makes a lot of sense, Judge.
Hey, kid. If you win, I'll make it worth your while.
Well? I'll play.
All right, first bit of feedback from Greenkeeper Joe, our mate. Hey, guys, still listen to the show while I'm working on the golf course. Since Kiwi Steve Alker has joined the Seniors Tour, he's played fantastic golf, many wins, always consistent. What do you put this down to? Because the competitors and courses are tough, and surely turning 50 doesn't make golf easy. If so, Mark, you would be raking in the cash.
Yeah, that's right. I'd be killing it. You're right. It's a good question. Yeah, I just from a million miles away, just watching on, and I am starting to watch him. Whatever course they were playing last week was a good watch as well. It was fantastic. I just think he's in shape. I think he is just in better shape than all of them. And some of them have lived well in their 40s and early 50s, and it shows. There's a few bellies getting out there.
There's a couple.
And good luck to him. Who cares? But Stevie is in great shape.
Yeah, he
And
is.
he always had a great golf swing.
Yeah, he's swinging it just, as good as he ever has.
And he was
obviously.
always a brilliant putter.
Great putter.
But
Yeah.
my God, he's bombing it. His swing hasn't changed. He hasn't fiddled around. I think he's just in better shape than most of them.
Yeah, and I think in that age where you get in your late 40s towards 50, he was still playing Corn Ferry Tour and staying sharp and competitive. And
That's
I
a good
played with
point.
him a couple of times in his mid to late 40s over there in the Corn Ferry, and you could sort of see he was obviously trying to get back out on tour, but he was biding his time in a way. And then once he did get on the Champions Tour, he obviously had that incredible run where he Monday qualified, top 10, and then continued it on. And it's funny, when you get on rolls like that, there's a little switch that goes on in your mind, the confidence that gives you to know, hang on, I can compete against these guys. And he's not only competed, but he's dominating them. I mean, it's so impressive his last few years. So hats off to him.
When you're playing well, you half expect it, don't you? It just week after week, it just happens.
Funny that.
It just happens.
Been a bit of talk about these Irish courses on your bucket list of recent times, Mark. And we've got a message from Gary Lisbon. Gary Lisbon has said, hello, boys. We played Ballyliffin a couple of weeks ago. Maureen almost made birdie, 2 solid pars.
Holy dolly.
Well, Gary's obviously one of the greatest photographers of golf courses around the world. He would know, by the way. And Gary, if Maureen is beating you, which she probably is, good luck to him over there, because I know they're away over in Europe at the moment playing a bit of golf and taking a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good on you, Gaz. And look out, if you're looking for, another Father's Day present, his books,
Yes.
Gary Lisbon's
Really
books.
good.
Just Google Gary Lisbon. His books are amazing.
That coffee table book is incredible.
It's insane how
Certainly
good the pictures
is.
are.
Now, on the ball rollback, or at least the objectives of the ball rollback, Benjamin wrote in and has said, I don't see why they don't simply make the driver head smaller, a mini driver head on a slightly longer shaft than a 3-wood, problem solved.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because the international feed commentators, they've obviously been listening to Talk Birdie to me, because they are saying exactly the same as what we are, and that is the driver has gone from the hardest club in the bag to hit to the easiest club in the bag to hit. And that is because of the size and the technology. I mean, not only is there bulge and roll on the driver face, but the roll is angled to where it's so scientific and it's rocket science sort of stuff. It's got to a point where, everyone at Titleist and everybody at Ping, they are really good at what they're doing.
Oh, they certainly are.
And the ball,
you combine that with the ball, and
the ball doesn't spin. It's just a missile. If you get it online at the start, the chances are it's going to stay online.
Now, we've got another message on the ball rollback from Graham. Graham has said, years ago, golf balls were tested for conformity only using recreational golfer club head speeds. The golf ball manufacturers found a loophole. Make a ball that will conform at 90 miles per hour, but go much farther when hit at elite pro speed.
Yeah, that's right.
Davis Love III has a great story about testing a prototype Pro V1.
Right.
I don't know the story. Don't know if you guys do.
No, I don't know the story. Might have to find it out. But that's one of the significant changes moving forward. They're now no longer going to test at whatever it is, 100 miles per hour. They are now going to start testing balls at 120, 125, whatever. So it's completely changed. Although we brought you this story and no one else had been talking to us, so it was an exclusive. Been waiting to say exclusive on our podcast, that they are having some trouble with the ball rollback. That's only been confirmed since too. So, and if you did miss out on that particular episode, if you are a high launch, low spin player, the new ball that they're trying, well, you're not missing out on too much.
No.
You're not. In fact, it's the other people who are missing out. It's the shorter hitter.
Yeah, that's right. Do you remember when the Pro V first came out, like the first Pro V1, and they used to you put it on the seam, and it seemed to go another 5 yards or so. You're going, wow.
Well, I played with Peter O'Malley, and I'd never. I mean, he was the first person to alert me to it. So I was playing with him somewhere, and he was really taking a lot of time teeing the ball up. Now, he never used to do that. He used to take it out of your pocket, stick it in, and go back and line it up. He was, lining it up.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, what's he doing? Is he trying to hit the inside? And then, I watched closer and the line that's on the seam, he was pointing that in the direction he wanted the ball to go. And I said, what are you doing? He said, well, it's been tested that it goes 10 yards further. I promise you the very next tee, I'll seam it as well. So,
absolutely.
The very next tee. So it was good enough for Pommel, it was good enough for everybody. And then there was a worry, because then sometimes you'd turn up to your ball and sometimes it would be positioned perfectly. And you had to take that into account just a little bit with an iron, with a 3-wood or some of the longer irons. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the international feed about 2 or 3 minutes ago, Mark, and we've got a message from Derek here. Now, we have dealt with this or covered this before and talked over this before, but Derek's asked a question that I think it's worth touching on again.
Yeah.
You mentioned on the podcast recently the international feed we get for the PGA. It is appalling, and we desperately need the CBS NBC feed restored. Do you know why they moved to this international feed?
Yes, I do know why, and it's because they were flooded with complaints from other markets other than the US is what I'm talking about, other international markets, that their players weren't being shown. And for instance, the US might have only been covering really the top 6 players, where you might have had English or South American or Australian and New Zealand players. Maybe they finished 8th or 9th and they didn't get a look in. So I understand that complaint, but unfortunately what it's done, it's gone completely the other way to where I don't want to say it's a colourless broadcast, because these people are good commentators.
Yeah, they are good.
And they are good people, and, they're doing a reasonable job. But the other polished broadcast is a hell of a lot better. And if you watch what I watch on YouTube, sometimes I just watch, they've got minis.
Yeah.
They've got the PGA Tour mini. So I'll watch that and you get the right commentary on that.
I think in a way,
it's a big difference.
If we could have an option to go from, the American, the local coverage and then the international feed and maybe switch back and forth. Throughout the day you'd be going, I wonder where this player's going, which should be great. But really the last 2 or 3 holes, you want, the guys that have been doing it for so long that are really good at it.
Well, even if they had the international feed for days 1, 2 and 3, and then they said, boys, have Sunday off, and CBS just took control from there, or NBC or ESPN or whoever's doing the main one, maybe that's an option. Or, like at majors, they have the feature groups channel on 505 and the real tournament on channel 503. Maybe just test it out and just see what the actual numbers are. I think it'll be heavily weighted to the polished broadcast.
Now, you were talking, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, Mark, about playing in the Australian Open in 1996, and Tiger was in the group ahead of you. Yeah. And you were talking about how he was just bombing and just was killing everyone.
I was certain they were there for his second shot on 18. I was certain. Yeah. And then somebody on the tee told me, no, that's his drive. Yeah. I just couldn't believe it.
And you should have been playing with him too, by the way.
In round 3, we're on the same score, and I should have been playing with him. That's right.
Well, I've got a message here from Paul. Mark, I was playing with Tiger that day.
Oh.
He hit every par 5 in 2 that day. The one that floored me was the 14th into the wind, and no one was even getting close in 2 that week. Drove it around the corner. The fairway camber moved it into the rough in a poor lie sitting down. Tiger proceeded to get a 3 fairwood out, clobbered it onto the green. everyone else was hitting 7 to 8 irons for their third shot. He had ridiculous power.
Oh, wow. So,
Paul, who would that have been?
Well, look, Paul McGinley was playing that week, but
Paul Maloney, maybe?
Paul Maloney. We can call him. We can give Paul a call. I'll send him. Do you want me to send him a Seeking text message and see if...
Yeah, go on.
Yep, I reckon.
You got his number. Perfect.
Yeah, send him a message and we'll give him...
We'll see
if he calls back.
We'll see if he does.
While we wait for that, we might do one more bit of feedback.
Did you play with Tiger in 1996 Ost Open? Sent.
Okay. We'll see if he calls back. On the retirement of Ian Baker-Finch, this is from our friend Matthew in Nebraska. Okay. Remember Matthew's the guy we had on, and he had a cat with him, and his cat was called.
Oh yes.
And his cat was called. Do you remember the name of the cat?
No.
Aussie.
That's right. That's right.
Finchy 64, Nobilo 65, Nance 66. I agree with you guys that this CBS Gold team is the best. Along with Nick, I'm curious as to who will replace Finchy, and does CBS have a replacement plan for Nobilo and Nance? Would they go for another international guy again to replace him? What about Adam Scott, one Aussie for another? Or is he a little bit too reserved and lacks the passion that Finchy had? I'd love to hear who you think will replace him.
I think Scottie's got too much coin to worry about commentating. I think it does sound better with the international voices.
Yeah.
And I think the Americans appreciate an accent on their broadcasts. And it does sound more golf for some reason, having an English, British, South African style announcer.
Yeah.
So it's half a chance.
Yeah, and the name I heard a while back, but I'm not sure if he's that interested, was Jeff Ogilvy, maybe.
Jeff would be good.
He would be good.
Jeff would be good.
But, yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I still think there's life in Nobilo. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Although I thought there was life in Finchy too, by the way. But I think there's lots of life left in Frank.
Yeah.
And
very much so.
I reckon I just love him. I think he's so good. And, of course, Frank used to sit next to Chambly before Paul McGinley came in. Of course, McGinley, pretty well-regarded Ryder Cup captain from Europe, and you get both sides at the majors. It's pretty handy. So someone like that I think is always good. I'm not even talking anymore about this stupid music.
Very catchy.
No one's bopping along, mate.
Really,
anyway.
It's really grown on me.
Nick, what do you got?
All right, PGA Tour. We had the FedEx St. Jude Championships in Memphis there, first event of the playoffs. As we know, Justin Rose won in a 3-hole playoff against J.J.Spaun. That's his 12th PGA Tour win. Pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's very good. How old is he, 45?
45 years of age, so doing well.
Still bombing it too.
And almost won the Masters earlier this year. So. Yeah. Of the Australasians, Ryan Fox tied 50th along with Cam Davis. Jason Day tied for 56th and Minwoo Lee tied for 68th. So not a great week for him, given it was a 70 field. And as I mentioned, Jason Day and Ryan Fox, the only ones moving on to the BMW Championship, which is coming up
in the top 30?
This week.
Close,
34.
34, okay.
So he'll need a good week, as will Jason Day, who's now number 44. So
he's a finished top 5, I reckon, Jason.
Maybe, yeah. Also, we had Live Chicago going on, where South African Dean Burmester defeated John Rahm and the young, what's his name, Javier Ballester in a playoff.
He's a good player, Javier Ballester.
He was the one who took a leak in the creek.
That's right.
At the Masters.
He won the
US Amateur last year.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He is a very good player. But Burmester from Stinger, they got the sweep actually because Stinger won the teams competition, defeating Team Talk.
Yes.
And Ripper were tied for 8th. Best of the Aussies was Mark Leishman, tied for 13th. Lucas Herbert tied for 25th. Cam tied 29th. And Matt Jones, 49th. So, DP World Tour, they had...
What about the team event? Who came last?
So...
Who came last?
The Majestics were coming last.
Oh!
But they rallied. They had a very good last day. They shot 5 under the last day to finish 3rd last.
Oh, that's not bad. That's better than normal.
Yeah. I think, who was last? It might have been the Ironheads.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm going to buy a Majestics T-shirt or something.
You should.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to
we should get them on.
I'm going to wear it one. Yeah, we should get them on.
That'd go down well. DP World Tour, the Nexo Championships at Trump International Golf Links in Scotland. So Donald, I don't think, showed up.
Surprised. No, I thought he's home.
Yeah, because we saw that video. Was it last week or the week before of the Caddy? Yeah, no, it did look good. Did you see the putt from Connor Syme? where he putted it off the green. It was like a 100-yard putt.
It's such a shame.
It was almost deliberate, wasn't it?
It's such a shame for him because I've putted off greens before, but it just kind of trickles off and
but that was
it's
hit
on the
with pace.
fringe. But that's the green you couldn't possibly want to hit it off because it was straight downhill off the front.
Yeah, it was.
He would have had to get a yardage coming back.
I'm sure he did. He had like a 50, 60-yard pitch coming back.
It went longer past the hole than he was from it originally.
Yeah.
Look,
Anyway.
we're only laughing because it's happened to us.
Exactly.
There we go.
Or to you, maybe. So.
It definitely happened to me.
Anyway, the local lad, Scotland's Grant Forrest, shot level past 72 for a 4-shot win over England's Dean Cole.
Yep.
Of the Aussies, Dave Micheluzzi had a good week, tied for 10th, and he needs to get going for the race to Dubai. So that moves him up 8 spots to number 77.
That's good.
Elvis Smiley tied for 31st, and Jason Scrivener tied for 36th.
I've been following Elvis. He's done reasonably well.
Solid.
We expect so much more.
Yeah.
But in reality,
it's never
he's
easy.
done well. It's
First full season, really.
First full season in Europe is not easy.
Yeah.
It's new
And
courses.
And he's 27th on the race to Dubai points, so he's
New
done
courses,
really well.
new language, new money, new everything every single
Exactly.
week. But you get better at it. Well, you get better at it.
You do. No, the first year is always the toughest, your rookie season.
Yeah, he's doing
Having
well.
the win under his belt obviously helped at the BMW PGA Championships
That's
at the end of
correct.
last year. On the Ladies European Tour, we had the PIF London Championships where German Laura Funchstuck,
Well done.
glad I got that one out.
No, you're getting better at it.
Because the
You actually-
spelling was interesting.
I thought you were good last year. You've taken your pronunciation to a whole new level.
Well, she birdied the 18th hole for a maiden victory. It was a one-shot win over Daniela Darkea of Ecuador. Of the Australasians.
Can she call Tommy Fleetwood just to help out?
Well, maybe.
Just got across the line quite. Isn't that a shame? Some people just get across that line
tell
so
you.
quickly, and others just don't.
Well, New Zealanders, Momoka Kabori, Amelia Garby tied for 25th, and our own Kirsten Rudgley and Kelsey Bennett were tied for 49th. Corn Ferry Tour, great finish. Christo Lumprecht, remember this tall? He's like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah,
Hold
that's
a
it.
bunker shot on 18 for the win.
You're
Now, that's how
kidding
you
me.
get it done.
That's-
Holding a bunker shot on 18.
Is that his first?
That's his first win on the Corn Ferry
so
Tour.
there you
Yeah.
go. Some guys just trip across the line. They just do.
Funny
They
how it
get
works,
it done
right?
somehow.
Yeah. That was in Omaha, Nebraska. Of the Australasians, Harry Hillier tied for 18th and Rain Gibson tied for 28th.
Yep.
Champions Tour, they were in Washington for the Boeing Classic where, as we mentioned, cousin Steve Allen had a one-shot win over Stuart Sink.
How's the course? Whatever that course was, go check
I only
it
saw
out.
some highlights. It looked pretty good.
Wow. Jack
Really
Nicklaus
good.
design, I know that, but
there
it's
you go.
probably the best one ever. The
Yeah.
best one he's ever done.
Aussies, Brendan Jones and Steve Olker, although he's a New Zealander, tied for 14th, and Stuart Appleby and Michael Wright tied for 30th were the best there. And also just a shout out to our own Ella Skaysbrook, who made the semi-final of the US Women's Amateur. She lost on the 19th hole, unfortunately, at Bandon Dunes.
She was up too with about a few to play.
She was 4 up with 7 to go. But, you know, it's a tough one. But she did lose to the eventual winner, Mega Gunn, who won 4 and 3 over Brooke Bierman. Now, interesting that those two, the finalists, they actually played off against each other in the 2018 Augusta National Drive Chip and Putt.
There you go.
And now they are back at the US Women's Amateur. How good is the game,
Isn't
right?
that great?
Amazing how it always comes full circle. Now, this week also, Challenger PGA Tour of Australasia starts up in Port Moresby for the PNG Open. So we're kicking off the season down here. It's great.
Yeah. All I can say about that tournament is you'd want to hit it good. Very tough to get up and down on those greens
Yeah, I
and
bet.
those surrounds.
Yeah.
You want to just knock the stick out all week.
Yeah, very true.
Now, we're going to make a decision here, boys.
Yes.
We can either sit here for 5, 10, 20 minutes and just twiddle our thumbs
For
until
Paul.
Paul calls, or we can take a rain check on Paul and chat to him at another time.
Let's
when-
talk to Paul. Mate, have we got a feedback?
Yeah.
Why don't we slot him in there?
Well, if we can get him, we will.
right.
If we can get him, we will. But Masterclass is next. Whose
Yes.
turn this week?
It's
Mark?
my turn.
Mark.
Yeah, I filmed it down at Kingston Heath, and it's when you desperately need to hit a long bomb, but you cannot go left. There are some things people do early in the golf swing that kind of help you hit it long, but doesn't help you not going left.
Yeah,
So
true.
that's coming up next.
Quality cinematography too, by the way. Just watch out for that.
Yeah, that's the cameraman is praising himself.
Pumping your own tyres up there, aren't you, Nick?
Someone's got it.
Anyway, I'm not sure about the audio. It's a new microphone,
It's yours.
so I've done my best.
Well done.
I'm sure it's good. Yeah. All right, Masterclass next.
Well, Justin Rose had to do something special on 18 4 times to win that tournament last week. He had to hit a bomb with his driver and not go left. Now, how often do you try to hit the bomb with the driver or a 3-wood or a long iron and it goes left, a big pull? It's no good. I think subconsciously, when we're doing this, we probably let the club open a little bit too much on the way back because, one, it feels like the ball won't go that way, but two, it gives you a little bit more hit when you're trying to hit the big one. But this is the big mistake. So when you go back, make sure that club doesn't open up to give you a feeling that it won't go left. Make sure that doesn't happen. And you see all the good players these days, they make that rehearsal and see the club is facing down. We don't want it to go that way. Even though that feels safe, it won't go left. And even though that feels powerful because you can give it some more hit, it's the dangerous thing to do because you've got to roll that club face on the way through. So if you want to hit the big bomb and you don't want it going left or a big pull, make sure the club is there on the way back. And then you can give it a good old-fashioned belt.
And that's been Talk Birdie, Australia's most popular golf podcast with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allan, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf and FootJoy the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.